op 24 november 1959 gezonken schip de Holmglen, waarbij alle 15 opvarenden zijn omgekomen. Zowel de coaster Holmglen als de sloep zijn beide in Nederland, respectievelijk bij Bodewes in Maartenshoek en Kersthold in Groningen gebouwd. De roeivereniging de Zuiderzeeroeiers te Emmeloord in Nederland hebben deze sloep van een café-eigenaar in Wellington, Nieuw-Zeeland aangekocht, waar zij afgedekt met een plaat hout bijna 20 jaar als hangtafel dienst heeft gedaan in een café in Wellington. Ter nagedachtenis aan de opvarenden van de Holmglen werd op zaterdag 23 november een herdenkingsdienst gehouden op de begraafplaats in Timaru, Nieuw-Zeeland. Echo Radio maakte de volgende reportage. Welcome to you all on behalf of the Zuiderzee Rowing Club in the Netherlands. It's at their initiative that this remembrance service is being held today. You will hear more about that later from Mr. Quested, the Consul of the Netherlands in Christchurch. And we also welcome Mr. Bennett, Councillor for Timaru, who will speak on the Holmglen disaster. And I would also like to acknowledge Gowan MacLeod, member of the Timaru Highland Pipe Band. I would like to start with a poem which I came across this week by Jerry Goldwell. Behold the sea, the mighty restless sea. Behold the strength of battered rock and sand, the endless fight between the sea and man. Behold the sea. Through wind and storm, the foaming breakers roar. What of man who waits upon the shore? What of the man you hold for evermore? Behold the sea. Rolling along in the starlight, restless, plentiful and strong. Rolling along in the moonlight, surf and spray shining in the sun. Behold the sea, the mighty restless sea. Behold the strength of battered rock and sand, the endless fight between the sea and man. Behold the sea.
My name is Don Quested. I'm the Honorary Consul for the Netherlands in the South Island, and I'm privileged today to represent the Zuiderzee College rowers at this memorial ceremony to remember those that lost their lives at sea on the vessel Holmglen almost 50 years ago. As it happens, I personally have a distant connection to the Holmglen, as my uncle sailed as an able seaman on this vessel on several occasions, fortunately not on her last voyage. As we are here at the graves of James McEwen and Sydney Mackenzie, on behalf of the Zuiderzee rowers from Emmeloord in the Netherlands, and all those that are present, we're here to honour the 15 men, crew of the Holmglen. These men all tragically lost their lives at sea 22 miles southeast of Timaru on the evening of November the 24th, 1959. We want to commemorate them on a moment that their lifeboat that was mounted on the Holmglen is being transported from Tauranga to Vlissingen in the Netherlands, back to the country where she was built, to be fully restored with the intention to give the lifeboat a fresh start. It should be known that the lifeboat is a clinker class, which is a popular class for competitive rowing in the Netherlands, with a crew of 8 to 10 rowers. This lifeboat should have provided the crew shelter and a chance to survive on the fatal night. Not one of the seamen, however, was able to survive. It is appropriate to remember the tragic events of which the lifeboat is the only intact remnant of the vessel Holmglen recovered. Back in the Netherlands, once restored, she will have a second life in serving as a practice sloop for students and adults to become familiar with and experience love and passion for water, as those who we are commemorating at this moment were passionate for water, choosing their profession at sea. Bringing the sloop back into service will return her to what she was made for. A bronze plaque with the name of all 15 men placed in the sloop will keep the memory alive for every crew that will row her on all rowing events she will attend. By naming her Timaru, the shelter, she will carry her origin and history within her. I will now read out the names of the crew that lost their lives on that fateful day. J. Anson, Keith Lorden Barker, Keith Billinghurst, G.J. Boyce, J. Cleary, R.A. McFoster, William Henry Harding, Aubrey Shepherd McClellan, James McEwen, Sydney Mackenzie, Alfred Pemberton, Joe Renaud, David Westerly, Derek Warhol, and Alexander Wolfgast. Thank you.
Honorary Consul and ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I bring warm greetings from the Timaru District Council, who reaffirm their sympathy with the members of the Holmglen who died 49 years ago. You have to consider that the Holmglen was very well known in Timaru. It was what we might have called the mosquito fleet, and a lot of the small coastal boats used to go for Timaru and various parts of New Zealand, and that was a regular thing that used to happen. Now, the night of the Holmglen went down was a very wild night. We had I remember the night vividly, a very strong sou'wester. The wind was almost horizontal, and the seas were fairly rough, but not so rough that the harbour defence boats, which were in port, there were 2 of them, were able to go out once they had the distress call. You see, you have to realise there was no air-sea rescue in those days that we have now. It was a matter of each boat trying to do the best. And they were followed then by the pilot launch and a few other fishing boats. Well, the Holmglen was eventually found the following morning about 10:30 with echo sounders. And of course, at that stage, they had recovered no bodies, nothing at all, till later on that day, they recovered the 2 bodies which we have here in burial at this time. That was about the Wednesday. or Thursday. And on the Friday night, the coastal ship of the Union Company, the Timaru, found the lifeboat. And that was brought in about midnight. And on the Saturday morning, which was the morning of the funeral, and I was here at this very site at the funeral because most of the councils of the day went to the funeral. I was here then. The Minister of Marine then ordered a grid search. And while standing here on this very point, the trees weren't as large as they are now. We saw all the fishing boats go out. I think there were either 11 or 13 fishing boats in line astern going out to do a grid search. You've got to realise the impact of the Holmglen disaster on Timaru was considerable. You see, Timaru has had a lot of shipwrecks over the years, but the last one was 1882, and there was 9 lives lost at that stage. But this was far exceeding that. So really it had a big impact on the community at large, so much so that virtually the whole council and the mayor went to the funeral as part of the support they could give to the community. So you can really see that, although it's 49 years ago, the impact is still thought about. We still recall the Holmglen, and of course we don't really know, and the Board of Inquiry didn't really come up with a real answer as to what really happened. Suffice to say, however, these 2 gentlemen who are here are the only 2 that were recovered. So all I can do at this time is reiterate the continued sympathy of the Council and fond memory of the Holmglen and the other ships of the Mosquito Fleet, which did so much for the trade of Timaru. Thank you.
breeze and bring him to me. Is it not sweet to hear the breeze singing as